Ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again here to go racing with the National Karting Alliance. It's the opening round of the Stars Championship Series Junior Division here at the Brands Hatch Circuit Indy layout. I want to thank all of you here for tuning in and getting set to watch some fantastic racing action with the rising stars of the motorsports world here today. We have Logan Julian right now, who currently tops the boards, as we will search around the racetrack and see if we can find some of the top drivers here starting to throw down some lap times. Here's Logan Julian himself pushing the limit a little bit there, coming out of turn number 3, but he's looking still mighty strong right now over Frankie Mossman and JT Novosilski, who right now runs second and third. There's Connor Zilish, one of the promising junior stars looking to the senior level of karting. We saw him at the NKA Pro Invitational just a moment ago last Friday evening. A number of drivers have entered here in the junior division. We have upwards of 60 plus already entered for Friday's Pro Division event that is going to be taking place at the Sonoma Road Course in Infineon, California, as we see Connor Zilish going a little bit too much there around the racetrack. Here's JT Novosilski. He is third on the racetrack right now, as one driver was just headed on the out of the pit lane. That looks to be one of the many newer drivers here that I'm not personally too familiar with. Jesse Arnzen in the number 3 on his outlap here, getting set to throw down a flyer. Qualifying currently underway right now. You can see in the top left-hand corner of your screen, 7 minutes to go here as we try to set the starting lineup for the first Stars Championship Series Junior Division race here at Brands Hatch. There are a number of prizes here from the likes of NPI steering wheels, a huge thank you to a number of our partners, the likes of Miami, USA East, MPI, as well as Extreme Sim Racing, which provides sim racing chassis and cockpits. We have a ton of cool stuff coming here your way this evening. Again, we want to thank you all here for tuning in thus far. We want to ask you to please share the live stream here. If you're watching with us on Facebook through the NKA Facebook page, we're also cross-posting with our friends over at Kart Pulse, and they're going live with the Stars Championship Series as well. The likes here of John Antonio also making his way around the racetrack. He sits 7th right now as he goes for a little bit wide in the final corner. Here comes Novosilski by the line. His quick time, a 44.577. Will he go faster this time? No, 44.761 his last time by, so not enough to knock off Logan Julian, who actually just put a little bit of an extra emphasis on the field, just went another 10th quicker, so move it 2.5 tenths, the ticker, over Frankie Mossman, and then another 2 tenths back here to JT Novosilski. So we are continuing to watch these drivers make their way around the racetrack here for qualifying. As we are continuing to watch this, again, a huge thank you once again to all of our partners here. The best part of this whole championship series, both in the junior division and in the pro class, running Friday evening at 7 p.m. It is 100% free to enter. That's right, no charge at all. It is 100% funded through the NKA and our fantastic partners putting up some amazing championship prizes here at the end of this series. So tonight kicks that off for the younger drivers here, the under 18-year-olds, again, making their way around the racetrack. The likes of cadet and junior superstars, Luca Mars, who has just moved his way into the senior ranks. He's here tonight. You can see he's on the board right now, P7 right now for Luca Mars. And we're hoping to continue to expand these grids as we work our way through the season. Tonight is night number 1 on NKA television with the Stars Championship Series. For those of you who do not know me, of course, as it says in the context, my name is Xander Clements. I've been announcing go-kart races and motorsports events for a couple of years now. I was able to do the live stream here for the opening round of the NKA Pro Invitational last week, and then that was so successful we went from planning to maybe do a couple more fun events to a full-on league with 2 separate classes here of competition. I mentioned tonight is for the kids, the juniors of the NKA Stars Championship Series racing tonight. A little bit smaller turnout than what we're expecting. I mentioned over 60 drivers in the pro class will be trying to qualify for that main event. They will be in a number of different timed hot lapping servers. The top 30 overall fastest drivers will transfer into the full race Friday evening at 7 p.m. That qualifying session, I believe, starts at 6:30, practice at 6, and then by 7 p.m. we'll have our official race where we will re-qualify the drivers, have them run laps again to reset the order after they've qualified into the top 30 off of speed. Speaking of speed, Connor Zilish has just gone to the top of the boards. That time by 43.599, or should I say the lap prior, moved Connor Zilish half a second faster than Logan Julian. Julian, a couple years his younger, so a little bit of extra experience, but for a lot of these kids, they haven't spent all too much time here on iRacing. They've spent a lot here behind the wheel of go-karts. A few of them started to dabble in race cars as well, and of course, there's a number of different sims out there. A lot of the kids love to play Kart Racing Pro, but I can't imagine a ton of them have a lot of experience in this Formula Renault car that we are watching here tonight, which is a little bit slower than the F3 car that the pros will be racing Friday evening. That was the same car we watched race at Mid-Ohio. We had the likes of F1 superstar Robert Kubica joining us, along with, of course, the NKA boss, Joe Janowski. He will be competing, I believe, in Friday evening's events as well. Tonight, he's in race control, a position very suited to him over the past couple of years. Of course, the Superkarts USA Director of Competition has been the head of that entire national, regional, and local program. So he has more than enough experience. We've got a couple others from the SCUSA ranks here, Aaron Likens and Zach Tasker. Zach, of course, has also spent a lot of time in the IMSA race control. Aaron himself has been all over the board at Grassroots Motorsport and a huge resume I couldn't even begin to touch. So we've got some very experienced eyes up in the sky here watching this one, making sure these kids stay inside the lines at least when it comes to each other. Zilish at that time went a 43.69, was not able to go faster. You just saw him go a little bit off the racetrack. He is okay as we continue to watch here live on Facebook. We also want to encourage you, if you know one of your drivers here or know a friend who might know one of these drivers, make sure to shout them out in the comments section. We love getting to see all the feedback here, especially for those of you tuning in live here on this live stream. Of your support for the driver, and I'm sure when they get to tune back in and listen to this broadcast or watch it in full after the race, they love to see and hear that support. So make sure you're lighting up those comments, giving a shout out to your favorite driver here on the starting grid, as again we are watching qualifying begin to come to a close here. 1 minute and 20 seconds left for any driver to move up the order. We saw Jesse Arnzen move up just a little bit. He moved past Frankie Mossman into the third spot. So a 44.206 right now, putting him in the top three. Mossman, a 44.253, and he's trying to get a little bit of a draft maybe here off the tail end of Arnzen. That front straightaway is pretty long, but again, we mentioned at Mid-Ohio, these cars are very good at simulating what it's like to drive a proper open-wheel race car. With this much downforce, you do get a little bit of that understeer when you are too close to the driver in front. So it's a balance, trying to see whether or not trying to get that draft on the straightaway makes up for what you may lose in handling and performance through the corners. This is a very short racetrack also, by the way. You're seeing these lap times in the 44-second mark. Really, there's only about 6 turns on this racetrack if you want to count as many as possible. You see, we have turn number 1 right here with Frankie Mossman. They'll go up the hill into the hardest braking corner. They'll go all the way down to first gear here through turn number 2. And they'll come out of it, drop down the hill a little bit, go back up a bit of the bend into turn number 3. Then a short shoot as they go towards the chicane, turns 4 and 5, a quick left-hander, and then a right-hander, and that turns into an increasing radius corner. That is really turn number 6. They wash out for really a truly long right-hander that then starts to decrease as they finally get onto the front stretch, which is slightly curved up until the very end. So a short lap around here at Brands Hatch, and now the checkered flag has flown. You can see that from the iRacing flaggers. Jesse Arnzen, that time, went quick enough to go to second. He got by Logan Julian. Arnzen, JT Novosilski is bumped down to 7th. He was up the order a little bit. Zilish is in the pit lane along with Luke Lang and Logan Julian. So 1st, 3rd, and 5th right now out of it. Luca Mars has pulled it in. So again here, the last couple laps beginning to come in. We're going to take a short break, give a huge thank you to our partners, and then we'll come right back with the starting lineup here for the Stars Junior Division at Brands Hatch.
Hi friends, Max Pappas. In this moment where everyone is home, safe, and following the guideline, if it happens that you're having fun with a simulator using an MPI product, I would love for you guys to send us your videos, having fun with it. We're gonna do something special. In the meantime, stay safe, be good, and love to all of you.
So now that we are back, we are on the starting grid here for this one. Again, this should be a very exciting event, and let's go ahead and bring you through your starting lineup here for the Stars Championship Series Junior Division round number 1. On the point, starting on the inside of row number 1, it'll be the number 7 North Carolina native of Connor Zilish, and he'll be joined to the outside by Jesse Arnzen, who threw down that flyer at the end of qualifying to put himself onto the front row. Row number 2 will be Logan Julian in the 885, and Frankie Mossman started the outside of him, the West Coast driver, joined to the inside by the kid from Wisconsin. Row number 3, it'll be Luke Lang in the number 350, the Texan, to the inside of John Antonio, who starts P6 in the number 9. Row number 4, it'll be JT Novosilski in the number 1, and Luca Mars in the number 5, starting to his outside, the Pennsylvania native, completing row number 4. And that will do it here for your starting grid for the juniors. 8 drivers in the opening round of the junior division. They are on the starting grid, and we are getting set here to go racing with the NKA Stars Championship Series Junior Division round number 1 here at Brands Hatch. The field beginning to make their way here behind the iRacing.com Porsche pace car as they work their way towards turn number 1. And again, let's give you guys a little bit of an update here of what to expect. Brands Hatch Indy, we went over it. 6 turns, 1.19 miles. The track elevation, 430 feet. But most importantly, the track temperature just under 70 degrees. It is a sunny day. It is definitely not going to be the most grip they will see, but they have all been testing on the same conditions. It should not change too much throughout the course of the race. So those lap times we were seeing in qualifying should be about as quick as these drivers can get down to here. The setup completely fixed, so nothing else changes here besides the driver between all 8 of these race cars. And as they start to warm those tires, we're going to get set here to go racing through the final corner. They're going to form back up. Again, everybody going to be trailing the number 7 Haas Automation livery of Connor Zilish. He will round the final corner. The iRacing.com Porsche pace car is in the pit lane. Let's take a look here, and let's get set to go racing as the field is filed up and ready to go down the front straightaway. We look good, and we are underway here with the Stars Championship Series Junior Division Round 1. The field's going to file down the inside here as they go through the first corner. Everybody makes it through clean. A couple drivers locking the brakes up as they go through the first corner. Oh, and we've got contact. Around goes one here on the outside of turn number 1. Frankie Mossman gets turned in contact with Jesse Arnzen. And is that Zilish as well? Connor Zilish has gone around in the first corner. So move the number 7 to the back of the grid as well. 3 drivers taken out here in the first lap, and I believe, yes, that has brought out the first caution here. We did not make it 2 turns, and the junior kids just got a little bit too aggressive on the opening lap to get this one fully underway. So the iRacing.com Porsche pace car is going to come back onto the racetrack, and we are going to rack them back up here. Your new lineup has John Antonio in the lead, JT Novosilski to 2nd, Logan Julian into 3rd, Luca Mars to 4th, Luke Lang 5th, Nolan Payne in 6th. We did not see him in qualifying. He was a late entry. But Payne, again, P6, P7 to Frankie Mossman, Jesse Arnzen 8th, Connor Zilish is 9th. These drivers do have a couple of fast repairs. That means a fully fresh race car when they come into the pit lane. So I imagine we'll see these drivers here with bent-up race cars come into the pit lane this time, into the box, and get a fresh piece here to try and go back at it. So that is your pole sitter, Connor Zilish. Let's see if we can go to the booth, to the NKA replay studio, and get a replay of what just transpired here on the opening lap at Brands Hatch. Again, just watching here in slow motion there, the leaders here getting together. So we're going to back that one up, show you guys once again. You can see here this is third place, Logan Julian, just trying to go down the inside, ends up touching wheels there with second place in Frankie Mossman, and it spins him, and he collects the rear wing of Connor Zilish and sends all three drivers into the gravel trap on the opening lap. So that's a couple of your top contenders that'll be going to the back of the field here after a reset. Unfortunate for those guys here, but we are back again. And that has allowed a couple of them to come to the pits, but not all of them. It looks like Connor Zilish has elected to stay on the racetrack with that bent rear wing, and the same for Frankie Mossman as well. I believe the only driver that may have come in was Jesse Arnzen, and I don't know if he got some front wing damage or what that included him on the opening lap as well. But either way here, as we continue to watch these drivers making their way around the racetrack here under caution for the first time at Brands Hatch. We just went over the replay. The opening couple drivers getting together. Sorry, not Logan Julian. My apologies. That was Frankie Mossman, Connor Zilish, and Jesse Arnzen in the number 3. My apologies to Julian. He kept his nose clean in the bright orange machine. I should have known that as well. And he's made up a couple of positions. So good stuff here for Logan Julian. That was, again, Connor Zilish, the pole sitter, Frankie Mossman, as well as Jesse Arnzen. Arnzen took advantage of the fast toe, and we're going to get set to go back green. Here comes the pace car. John Antonio has the field, and as they come down the front straightaway, let's get back underway, boys. We are green here for the youngsters in the junior division of the Stars Championship Series, and John Antonio leads your field down through turn number 1. A.G. Novosilski into second. Here comes Logan Julian looking the inside. Look at how much more cautious these boys are going through the second corner. Everyone going to make it through this time, and we'll go back up to the front of the field. This little battle here for second as Logan Julian tries to find a way by Novosilski, two of the younger drivers in the field. Here comes Julian. Late move on the brakes there into turn 4. They both run a little wide. Oh, and Novosilski's around, and Julian is with him. Two drivers out there battling for second. As the field comes around the final corner, they both have gotten back going. I don't believe we'll go caution for that one, so they race down the front stretch as Nolan Payne has gone by Luca Mars. Here comes Connor Zilish to the inside of Frankie Mossman. He will take over the 4th spot as your leader begins to stretch away. John Antonio trying to put a bit of a gap here on these drivers as here comes Zilish. Lock the brakes up there and knock the front wing in a little bit off of Luca Mars's white race car, and they'll head to turn number 3. Wild stuff here to start the junior division of the Stars Championship Series. Here comes Luca Mars. Down the inside goes Zilish, and he will take over the 3rd spot. Mars also under pressure. Mossman is around. Frankie Mossman just tried to go down the inside in the grass, dropped a wheel and got him sideways. Move Mossman now to the tail end of the field. We stay green here. No caution. J.G. Novosilski and Mossman going to come into the pit lane this time as Luke Lang runs behind Logan Julian. Then it's Luca Mars in the 4th spot. Connor Zilish into 3rd. Nolan Payne in 2nd. And again, a big lead here for John Antonio out in front. John Antonio doing everything he needs to do right now to start to build that gap. Again, that lap counter in the top is an estimation of what we should expect here from this one. For now, it is a timed race. We'll give you updates on that as we can. We're working on our streaming software. I believe we'll be switching over to officially just laps by Friday, but round number 1, still working on a couple kinks, and my apologies to our viewers on that end, but we want to thank all of you for tuning in, a number of you already, and again, we want to thank you. Keep lighting up those Facebook comments. Here we got one from Connor DeMond saying, let's go Antonio. So John Antonio with some support here on the live stream, and he's taking full advantage right now, leading the way. Looks like he's got a little spinner in front of him. A couple drivers, J.G. Novosilski and Frankie Mossman going around again. This time now they are lap traffic in front of the number 9 of John Antonio here as he comes down the front stretch. And they'll go down to turn number 1. Let's take a look at second, Nolan Payne, who missed out on qualifying. There was some technical difficulties for the 99 camp. We mentioned to them, but as he works his way to turn number 2. He's doing a solid job right now, logging some laps and keeping the pole sitter, Connor Zilisch, trapped behind him. Zilisch definitely is losing a little bit of straight line speed. You can see on the front end of Connor Zilisch's car that he has some damage, as well as the rear wing. Looking back here, you can see the right front is kinked up, as well as that rear wing kinked down and sideways there from left to right. So that will definitely affect the straight line speed here for Connor Zilisch, and it looks like he's going to bring it into the pit lane here. So coming in for pit stops early for Zilisch, and I believe they may need to make one here to make it on fuel. I'm not 100% sure what we've got, but with as many laps as they're making around Brands Hatch, I wouldn't be surprised. So with Zilisch in the pits, I have to imagine pitting out a third. That was a fuel stop as well. So without any cautions, we may see some more green flag stops and some tire strategies come into play. Zilisch, with a pit stop, might come out in some clear racetrack and not have to worry about passing Nolan Payne, and he could just undercut him with a strategy that gives him fresher rubber earlier on in the final stint. We're still only on the 10th lap of this one, so a lot of time to go. But as we keep our eye on the leaders, we've got one spun out entering the pit lane. That's Frankie Moss, and he is having a rough go here this evening. And it looks like he is going to keep it going on the racetrack. No damage, but just got a little bit sideways coming out of the final corner. Luke Lang just went on by him. He is still running on the lead lap, and solidly so. The number 350 entry, P5 on the racetrack in the black and red Renault Sport colored car. Logan Julian, P4, who has been very consistent. Again, I miscalled him. He was not involved in any incidents really so far. A little bit of damage to that right front wing, but overall, logging some solid laps, and he's inside the top 5 here at round number 1. Luca Mars, P3, definitely did not have the pace based off of qualifying. He was on the 4th row of the grid, starting 8th here tonight, but he has made up some ground here by keeping his nose clean in a matter of attrition. And so Luca Mars, P3, and it looks like he's actually starting to drop the hammer a little bit. That time by 45.3, matching the pace of Nolan Payne. However, nobody right now is matching the speed of John Antonio. Right now out in front, continuing to log fast laps. A 44.9 puts him fastest on the racetrack by about 4/10 over at least the drivers on the lead lap. Comments here in the stream. Rich Dyball talking to us, asking, is it too late to join? Absolutely not, Rich. We have plenty of room here for more drivers in the junior division, so make sure to stay tuned on the NKA page. I believe we've got our email posted in one of our previous posts that shows you how to enter. It is 100% free, and a number of cool prizes from our amazing partners, the likes of Miami USA East, MG Tires North America, MPI with Max Pappas Innovations for steering wheels and extreme sim racing cockpits. So again, all really cool prizes here we're giving away at the end of the championship. And regardless here, you get some fantastic exposure on the NKA Facebook page as well as the Kart Pulse Facebook page as well. If you're in this series, we race every Wednesday night here for the next couple weeks at 7 p.m. Practice starts at 6, qualifying at 7, and the race a little bit after. And again, all drivers of all likes of motorsport, if you are under the age of 18, I believe is the requirements, you are more than welcome here to join the Stars Championship Series Junior Division. We continue to watch our race leader, John Antonio, here in the number 9, make some laps around the racetrack. He's on lap number 14, has put a couple of drivers a lap down thus far, and has been driving a very solid and clean race. Very consistent here, and we didn't expect it maybe to be as much of a battle of attrition as it has been, but it has definitely been about keeping your nose clean. It's why we've seen Nolan Payne move up the grid from last after having to miss out on qualifying, and Luca Mars, who has not been all too quick leading into the race session, has been able to make up some ground. He sits 3rd. Logan Julian 4th, Luke Lang 5th. Connor Zilisch is 6th after the pit cycle. He is still on the lead lap, but is the next driver on the verge of going a lap down, I believe. Here he is 18 seconds back. There's Jesse Arnzen. He was one driver involved in that early incident. He is a lap down right now, running in 9th. Just hoping for a caution to get him back into this one, as we've got one driver in the pit, my apologies, that's Joe Janowski's car. He is race control, actually, so ignoring that there, especially on the ticker in 10th. The boss is not getting beat that bad. Don't worry, guys. He is going to be racing this Friday night in the pro class. A little bit of support here coming for Frankie Mossman from Race Liberante and from his father saying, come on, Frankie, keep it on the racetrack. Again, Brian Mossman just commented as well saying he needs a caution, and I agree. Frankie might be able to benefit if we get one, but they're all spread out pretty well, and they're starting to play a lot nicer than what we saw earlier in this one. Mossman running 8th at the moment, just went behind Connor Zilish, who is still 6th and on the lead lap after his pit stop to fix his race car. We'll see if he can start to make up some ground as the field works its way through turn 2. Just moved up to the 5th spot here, just getting by Luke Lang here on screen. So that pass was for position, and he's already back into the top 5. Your fastest qualifier starting to claw his way forward. Lang still sitting a solid 6th here. And again, as we add more drivers to the championship, the way the points will be structured, any kind of good finish here, regardless of whether or not you're on the lead lap or having the pace to win, could still be some valuable points towards a number of championship prizes. Miami USA East donating a $200 gift card. We've got a set of tires as well from MG Tires North America going away in this series. Hoosier Tires has stepped up. They've given two separate $100 gift cards. Extreme Sim Racing, I mentioned they make chassis cockpits. You saw them if you have been watching the stream thus far through the commercials. They're giving away a couple of full sim rigs, a retail value of over $600 for those, which is fantastic. A huge thank you to Liquid Sky Sports as well. That is a race gear company. They've also stepped up, and I want to give a huge shout out to them for stepping up here during this COVID-19 crisis to create face masks and other apparel needed for our men and women, our heroes fighting on the front lines in hospitals and first responders. So Liquid Sky Sports not only sponsoring us, as we've got contact here. Logan Julian just got into it with JT Novosilski. That was not for position, but it sent Novosilski around there out of turn number 2. And I don't know how much that damaged Julian's car. You can see that front wing is definitely severed a bit, and Connor Zilish has now gone through into 4th. So move Zilish back forward, and he is running lap times, I believe, starting to run down the leader. 43.747, 43.82 last lap. That was over a second faster than what we saw the leader, John Antonio, tracking earlier. Let's see what he's up to now as Zilish's climb forward continues. Luca Mars definitely going to be in the headlights here very soon, clocking lap times about 2 seconds slower than Zilish. So Zilish 2 seconds faster than 3rd and only about 4 seconds back, as you can see the difference between the two of them coming out of turn number 3. Moving forward here to John Antonio as well. Nolan Payne, 44.75. The lap time starting to drop a little bit, but he is still 1 second slower than Zilish, who is working his way back up. And Antonio has been running some quick laps, but he's been a little bit inconsistent, at least last time, just having to fight through some lap traffic. He's still got a very comfortable margin of over 15 seconds back to Connor Zilish, but he will need to make sure he holds that up here with potentially 13 to 14 laps to go here in this one as we're working lap number 20. If he is not able to give up less than a second a lap, we could very well see Zilish get back into a fight for the win after making a pit stop under green to get a fast repair. So that could be very, very interesting as we work our way towards the end and the second half of round number 1 here of the Stars Championship Junior Series. Back to the live stream comments again here on the NKA page. A huge thank you again to all of you guys for tuning in thus far. A comment here from Tim Huss giving some extra encouragement to Logan Julian. Logan right now, he runs 5th, still making up some ground after a little bit of damage, getting into it with JT Novosilski. Total racing incident for both of those two young kids. And again, they are still running on the racetrack right now. Comments from Chris Freckleton saying, go Frankie Mossman, Luca Mars, Luke Lang, and any other drivers he has. The Precision Works engine builder tuning in as well for a number of these young kart racers here who love to run his products. And Christian Marsh here making a comment. He is, of course, one of the architects of the NKA that has been integral in putting together this Stars Championship Series. All of this awesome promotional material and Facebook posts you're seeing, 100% Christian. So a huge thanks to him. He just mentioned Connor Zilish is definitely on the hunt, and I agree. And let's go back here, see if we can find that battle for 3rd. Zilish at least was working his way forward. What's happened to him? We've lost Connor Zilish. JT Novosilski in the pit lane. I'm trying to find where he went. Luke Lang is going here. Zilish is out a lap. Let's go on to the replay screen and see what just happened, because he was working his way forward very quickly. Riding on board here with Connor Zilish. We're watching him through turn number 1. This was on his lap. Oh, and he dropped a wheel and just got a little bit sideways there coming out of the final, or the opening corner. And that sent him straight off the racetrack. Let's get ourselves another view of this one here. Again, that was a rough one to watch there for Connor Zilish. Let's go from the top of the cockpit. We're going to back this one up a little bit. You can see he's carrying a lot of speed through this first corner. He was pushing the limit, just got out wide, drops those tires in the gravel trap, and around he goes. He tried to correct it. Oh, and tank slaps the wall hard. So Connor Zilish, who was the driver on the move for a number of laps there, had clawed his way back into the top 5, was working on catching his good buddy Luca Mars for 3rd, and now we find him out of this one. So that's moved him way down the order, and the drivers who have been staying on the racetrack and hanging in there, the likes of Jesse Arnzen and Frankie Mossman, are now 6th and 7th. Those could be some very valuable points towards the end of season championship, with a number of cool prizes here coming our way. Of course, the other unfortunate part, Zilish really can't even rebound from that. He already burned his fast repair by coming into the pit lane to repair the wing damage from earlier, and now with that heavy contact, there was no way he could continue or get a new race car to continue to go. So as we watch the comments here, of course, some unfortunate luck there for Connor Zilish, but a lot of good talent here still going on. Cole Matthewson chiming in here saying thank you to NKA for hosting this stuff. Man, thank you for tuning in, Cole. I'd love to see you on the racetrack again here for the Pro Series Friday. I'm not sure if you're entered, because I haven't even seen the huge entry list we've gotten, but we've got a ton of top-level drivers here competing with us this Friday evening at 7 o'clock. Again, over 60-plus names have been entered. Again, I already read over some of the prizes we've got. There are a ton already here. Again, we've got a set of MG tires, a $200 IAMA USA East gift card. We've got sim racing cockpits from Extreme Sim Racing. We've got contributions from On-Track Promotions as well. They've offered up 4 photo packages and a full canvas of one of your favorite pictures that the guys at OTP make, and those guys are phenomenal at the work that they do, so you will definitely be taking advantage of that, either in a previous race or when we do get back to racing in real life. A credit and voucher that would definitely be worth it. We've also got the likes here. Chris Wareheim has stepped up. He's offered a free coaching session as well on the racetrack. Maxxis Kart Racing's offered 3 sets of kart tires. Again, I mentioned Hoosier Tires. They've stepped up with a couple $100 gift cards. And, of course, IAMA USA East with their $200 gift card. Max Pappas Innovations has stepped up as well. They've got some really cool prizes, steering wheels and cockpit of the like that I believe we'll be getting to see. I'm not sure exactly all they're donating, but they've got a huge bit. And a huge thank you to Max as well for stepping up here during this time. So a ton of cool prizes, and the reason why I'm reading over those, that's why it's so important to stay in this one for the likes of Frankie Mossman here and Jesse Arnzen to hang in there and not give up, because every point matters. And even though this week might not be too bad, if Frankie Mossman would have thrown in the towel on lap 1, he'd be a 9th place position. He is 6th right now, and there's still enough laps left that we can see some more carnage before this one is over. One back towards the front half of the field here. Let's move forward here to Luca Mars. Again, Luca started 8th place on the grid. Another driver, like I said, he hasn't been the quickest in practice, but he hung in there. He's been clean. He's been very consistent. You can see the lap times here ranging just a couple tenths. Last time was a 45.5. Oh, and around goes Mossman again. This time was off the bumper of Luca Mars, off the rear wing. And I believe he might have just disconnected. We've lost Frankie Mossman. Oh, I was just talking him up there. Talk about the announcer's curse for Frankie Mossman. He was just starting to make up some ground, had moved up into the 6th spot, hanging on the racetrack. Now as JT Novosilski is back out there, he might be able to take over 6th place. And again, all these points here again make some major implications here on where they will fall in the point standings towards round 2, 3, and 4, and so on towards some really cool prizes. For those of you guys tuning in here live, again, my name's Xander Clemens with the NKA Stars Championship Series junior class. We've got a number of kids here under the age of 18, junior and cadet, and a couple young senior stars as well, the likes of Luke Lang and Luca Mars here racing tonight. And again, Friday night, we've got the adults, the pros, or wannabe pros at least. We'll be racing over 60 of them. I've already entered, emailing NKA or entering online. Again, if you have any comments, make sure to Facebook comment on this. Send us a message on Facebook or Instagram, even on Cart Pulse. We'll be checking the live stream over there, which again, a huge thank you to James McMahon and the boys at Cart Pulse for helping get us some extra exposure here. Anyone that would like to get out on this action, registration is still very much open. And as you can see here, with a couple drivers having some bad runs tonight, it could be anyone's game when we get to round 2, 3, and 4, and so on to work your way into that championship fight, even if you're not racing with us here this evening. Just a couple of laps remaining here based off the time clock. Luca Mars right now, P3, 23 seconds back. No major battle for him. Moving forward, Nolan Payne, a driver, again, I haven't talked too much about here on this stream. Nolan's done a phenomenal job. He's put in a lot of laps here thus far. And again, he was not shown in our qualifying session. He was actually in a different session by accident. Luckily, they were able to get him in, get him onto the grid here. He had to start dead last. 10th, it actually would be 9th based on where he was, but he's the last driver starting shotgun on the field. And he's clawed his way forward. He's had decent pace. And he has been, most of all, clean. P2 right now for Nolan Payne. Some very valuable points towards the championship. But the driver right now who deserves the most coverage, and again, I apologize to the family if they feel like they haven't gotten enough. The truth is, there's just been action everywhere but at the front of the field. John Antonio has been phenomenal here this evening. No mistakes, no big crashes, consistent lap times. He's put over nearly 12 seconds back on Nolan Payne. And even more than that, lapping the final couple of the field. And we are on the final lap here. So that means the checkered flag should be coming this time. The number 9 of John Antonio has done everything he's needed to do. And tonight, he wins round number 1 of the Stars Championship Junior Series at Brands Hatch. Behind him here, let's go further back. Nolan Payne will end in 2nd as he crosses the line. A couple drivers still coming across as well as they work their way down to turn number 1. 3rd place, Luca Mars, who has been very strong here. We hope to see more from the young, talented superstar. Just beginning his senior ranks in karting tonight, he completes the podium in the opening round of the Junior Series here at Brands Hatch. JT Novosilski going to end 6th there. Started 7th, fell back, had some problems. Ended up getting back forward. A good run there from Novosilski. Luke Lang will cross the line. P4. Again, that just goes to show. Hanging in there, running all the laps. Some valuable points. And right behind him there, that's Logan Julian. He started 3rd. Unfortunately, got shuffled a little further back. Ended up with some wing damage getting through lap traffic. But he hangs in for a top 5 run. Congrats there to Logan Julian. We're going to have a couple of these drivers here with us in the Discord, and we'd love to see if we can bring a couple of them in here to talk before this one is over, but I'm not sure if we've got all of them. I know our winner, Connor Zilish, isn't with us tonight, so let's see if maybe we can get our race control hero here, Joe Janowski. Give us a couple words on his thoughts on the opening round of the junior division here for the NKA Stars Championship Series. We've got Joe Janowski here in the booth with us. Joe, of course, you were in race control tonight. You were on the racetrack last Friday, so you've seen both actions, both sides of the table here on iRacing.com. What's your thoughts on how this race all went down here tonight for the juniors? The first race of the Stars Championship Series.
You know, hey, it was some technical difficulties we were having with some iRacing stuff. Do you get the practice rooms open and get everything launching correctly. Kind of a rare problem, but the kids did a really good job. Got out there, and this is kind of what I wanted for the junior program, to give them a place to go race. Get a little more experience in the iRacing stuff without feeling like they have to, duke it out with, Race Labronte or Rory Vanderster, or those guys running pro. But I thought it was great. I loved watching Connor come zip through, or try and get through field there a little bit. Everybody was pushing hard, probably maybe a little too hard, but hey, it's all racing, it's laps, it's experience, and for everybody that tuned in, sponsors, all the kids that ran, I'm tickled. I think it was great, and can't wait for next week. Hope to see entries maybe bump up a little bit. I'd love to see 15 or 20. Now that some of the kids can kind of see what's going on, get a little more comfortable with how a race runs and all that kind of stuff. So I thought it was great. Got a little not too many cars there right at the end. Bulk of the action I was pretty pleased with.
Absolutely. It was definitely a little bit chaotic there at the start, but a lot of the kids started to find their rhythm, especially our kids that ended up finishing on the lead lap there in the top 5. And I'm sure it was a big learning experience for all of them. I can't imagine those Instagram group chats that they're all in aren't going to be blowing up after tonight of both some smack talk for round 2 and hopefully we get a few more of their buddies going. We got a couple comments on the stream. So Joe, thanks as always for putting us on. And man, next up is the Pro Division. We got 60 plus guys here Friday night.
Next up is, well, that's 60 right now. First year's coming. That is going to be an epic race. And, real quick back to the juniors, and the reality of it is, this is probably one of the first times that they've ever performed live for people. Normally, the only people to watch this stuff are going to at a race watching some of the junior divisions, but Wednesday nights, I mean, they got I hope to in, so I haven't seen the numbers yet, but I hope they do. But I hope more juniors come out and realize this is a really fun thing to do. We're all having a good time. There's cool prizes, cool boards, and it's worth getting out there and doing some laps. But I'm telling you, man, Friday, I was looking at the entry list today, and it's a pretty epic list. There's not a lot of guys in that aren't fast, and it's going to be a really tough deal to make the 30 car main event broadcast main. It's going to be tough.
Absolutely. Yeah, so like Joe said, guys, for those of you guys still tuning in here, we have, of course, the Pro Division running Friday. They are racing at the Sonoma Raceway, and we've got 60-plus entries already. The entries are still open. It is 100% free. All of our prizes are brought to you by our fantastic championship partners. I mentioned a bunch of those earlier on the stream. We'll keep plugging those guys on social as well. Joe, how can these guys get involved here with the Pro Division on Friday?
You mean, as far as racers go, these can't talk. Go on there. There's an entry form. All they got to do is put on, and they're in. Then we'll begin communicating with them beginning tomorrow in terms of exactly how we're going to do this, how we're going to take 60, 70, 80, 90 and get them down to the top 30 and then go from there. So that's how they can kind of get involved. That applies to juniors for next week too. If you weren't involved, that's how you can also message us on our NKA Facebook page, or you can send us an email to info@nkaonline.com. All those ways we can get involved and help you and get you guys sorted out in place.
Awesome. Well, like he said, guys, Sonoma, a couple questions in the comments here. Which layout? We are running the Sonoma Cup layout. So again, that's the new, and that's the new Cup layout, which means that we are using that extra part of the racetrack NASCAR started using last year. We're not using the old Cup layout. It's the current Cup layout at Sonoma, which iRacing, of course, is up to date on. So if you want to get started on testing.
and I played around with a couple of iconic American track tests, and I drove a couple of the different, and really the fun of driving the Cup course in that F3, really super awesome. And I think the racing is going to be I think the racing is going to be epic. I think there's 3 or 4 like really good passing spots, and there's 2 really bad passing spots that look like good ones. So there's going to be a lot of action again or on Friday.
Definitely. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. I hope all of you guys viewing are looking forward to it. And if you got iRacing, if you've got a desk, if you got a steering wheel, or if you got a crazy sim rig and you've been racing iRacing forever, info@nkaonline.com for the email, nkaonline.com, our website, or DM us on Facebook, Instagram, everywhere you see the National Karting Alliance. We want to get you guys racing, and it is 100% free here. Joe, thank you for speaking with us, and thanks for helping putting on, of course, Junior Division Round 1. My name's Xander Clemens. For those of you who have tuned in, again, it is Sonoma Cup layout for the Pro Division in 2 nights' time, 7 p.m. for the broadcasted race. We've already got 60-plus names, a stacked list of drivers trying to qualify in on lap times. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are going to see you guys in just less than 48 hours here, back underway with the NKA Stars Championship Series.